Hello and welcome to Inside the VI. I'm Aaron Schultz and I'm by my co-host, Dean Fisher.
On this week's episode, we have our Spotlight Player of the Week feature on Connor Mowat. We also have the standings from this past week.
We also have our own Chris Micklin with our Where Are They Now Player of the Week, which is San Jose Sharks defenseman Matt Irwin. And we also have our own Tali Campbell with the news from this past week as well. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Inside the VI. Welcome to Inside the VI. This is episode 20. I'm joined now by our news correspondent, Tali Campbell. Tali, the Campbell River Storm's owner has been given a one-year peace bond from the Comox Valley Glacier Kings owner. This happened a year ago, but what happened?
Yeah, so kind of explaining, it happened a year ago, as you just said, Aaron. Kevin Spooner, the owner of the Campbell River Storm, and David and Marcia Webb, the owners of the Comox Valley Glacier Kings, they were in a game in Campbell River watching their team play when Mr. Spooner confronted them, according to the allegations from the Mr. and Mrs. Webb. And they even said, Mr. and Mrs. Webb said that Spooner hit him on the back of the head. What happened exactly? It stems from a trade the Campbell River Storm made to a different team out of the league. However, that player did not report, Jordan Camprath. He reported to the team and then he was signed with the Comox Valley Glacier Kings. Mr. Spooner was very upset that no compensation was given to him. It sounds a little bit silly that he was that upset to confront them. It went further more than that, actually. You know, it did just happen in the building. It was out in the parking lot when he confronted the head coach of the Campbell River Storm, Mr. Ewing, Joey Ewing, and according to Mr. Ewing, he challenged him to a fight. Mr. Spooner denies it, of course. He said the allegation was he's wanted to have a chat man-to-man. So the one-year peace bond given to Mr. Spooner against Mr. and Mrs. Webb, all because of a player's compensation. And, a little bit of light of the whole situation, Jordan Camprath is now the assistant coach of Comox.
Now, when you say peace bond, what does this peace bond mean to Kevin Spooner?
Yeah, so the judge, kind of looked at it as they are two owners in the same league, the VIJHL, with, which means the teams are going to play each other. They're in the same division, the North Division, so, they kind of let it off a little bit. So they're allowed to be in each other's arenas. So Mr. Spooner can travel to Comox, watch team play, and vice versa. Mr. and Mrs. Webb can travel to Campbell and watch their team play, as long as not within 10 meters of each other in the arenas. And then 500 meters within, Mr. Spooner cannot go within 500 meters of the Mr. and Mrs. Webb's home.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Tali. That was our own Tali Campbell talking about the situation with the Campbell River Storm's owner. Now we'll be joined again later this episode for him for more news. But for now, we're going to send it to our own Chris Micklin with the Where Are They Now segment, brought to you by Doug Rowley, Emily, and Nanaimo, North Cowichan.
Thank you, gentlemen. And yes, that's right. I'm joined on the line now by Matt Irwin as part of our Where Are They Now segment. Irwin currently playing for the San Jose Sharks, but got his start in the VIJHL, playing for the Saanich Braves. So Matt, thanks for joining us tonight. And first question for you, looking back on your time with the Saanich Braves, what did you learn?
Basically, the biggest adjustment for me was you're playing with older guys. I went in there when I was grade 12, so I would have been 17, playing against some 20-year-olds in a more physical league. It just helps you with your decision-making on the ice. You have to make plays a little faster. You got to anticipate plays and so on. So, when you're playing with older guys and a little bit more skill than what you're used to, it forces you to adapt in certain ways.
Right, and of course, after playing with the Saanich Braves, you moved on to play for the Nanaimo Clippers. What was it like playing for the Clippers, and any differences between the VIJHL and the BCHL?
Yeah, of course, there's some differences. The pace of the game picks up. There's more depth on each team. So there's better players. Everyone's got a little bit more skill, and so, like I said, the pace is a little quicker. So it was just like a transition that I've made, from junior B to junior A and then to college and so on. Every level you go up, the pace picks up a little bit more, the skill level of individuals, and as teams, pick up. So you just got to adapt, and like I said, the difference from junior B was anticipating plays and making quicker passes and decisions. It kind of relates as you go up through levels.
Now, last season you were honored by the Saanich Braves. Speak a little bit about how that felt.
That was pretty cool. Absolutely didn't expect that at all. I was home for the Olympic break, and their coach, Brad Cook, had touched base with me and asked if I wanted to come out and drop the puck for their game. and went out not expecting anything other than that. And next thing you know, my parents were there, and my girlfriend at the time, and now wife, was there as well, and my family and my grandparents, and had no idea that they were going to retire my jersey from Saanich. And I was very, very honored that they did that, and it was definitely something I wasn't expecting, but it was very cool.
And of course, you're currently playing for the NHL San Jose Sharks. What was it like growing up as a hockey player, dreaming to play in the NHL, and then finally realizing that dream?
I mean, as a younger player going through minor hockey, obviously, it's a dream to play in the NHL, and you see all your idols on TV, and you just hope one day you get a chance. And, for me, it was that dream, and, I never thought it would become reality. I never really put that kind of pressure that, on myself or my family for that matter, that it was going to happen. Everything just kind of fell into place. I have to consider myself pretty lucky that the chips fell where they did. Opportunities came at the right time for me to make the step to the next level. So a lot of things had to happen in order for me to get to where I am, and I'm thankful for that. And as a young kid playing hockey, especially in Canada, you dream of playing in the NHL, and for it to happen is a dream come true.
Finally, Matt, any advice for younger kids who are looking up to you and to other NHL players and hoping to play one day in the NHL?
I think the biggest thing is to have fun with the game, no matter what level you're at. If you got the dream, you got the drive, to just go out there every day, work hard, enjoy the moment that you have the opportunity to play a game that you love, and the opportunity to, perhaps go from junior B to junior A or the WHL, and, just embrace each moment, because, you don't know how long a hockey career is going to last, and whether or not you are going to get to the NHL or not. It's all about a process and having fun with it, and you never know what's going to happen. You could end up there, and I hope to see a lot of players that come out of the VIJHL get that opportunity to make it to the next level, and then pursue a dream of a scholarship, and then play some professional hockey of their own. So I look forward to seeing what the future holds for some of these players that are in the league, and what they can accomplish.
Thanks a lot for joining us, Matt, and best of luck in the rest of your season. That was Matt Irwin of the San Jose Sharks for our Where Are They Now segment. Inside the VI's Where Are They Now segment is brought to you by Doug Routley, MLA, Nanaimo, North Cowichan.
Hi, I'm Doug Routley, MLA for Nanaimo, North Cowichan. As a cyclist and hockey player, sports has always been an important part of my personal development. We're very lucky in Nanaimo to have a rich heritage and history of athletic achievement, and I'm proud to support sporting activities and opportunities for people of all ages in our wonderful community.
Thanks, Chris. And now we go to our own Tali Campbell, who has the rest of the news for this week. And a certain individual is back on the board of a community-based team. Tali?
That is right, Dean. We're talking about Sylvain Giroux and the Oceanside Generals, because earlier in November we talked about the ongoing situations in the Oceanside team, the community-owned team, which were not a good situations, if you recall. And the president later in the month of November stepped down, Sylvain Giroux. However, we've learned in January, this past month, he has rejoined the team as a board member. Not a president anymore, just a board member. The new president, Elizabeth Cundmore, and the governor. We called her, and this was her response to our question about why Sylvain has rejoined the board.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're, to the best of my knowledge, we've received directive from the league itself that we're not to be associated with inside the VI. So I don't have a comment at this time.
So that was, of course, the governor and the president of the Oceanside Generals, the locally community-owned hockey program that is a nonprofit that is Elizabeth Cundmore, the president and governor. Switching directions now, we're heading into the South Division. The Victoria Cougars and Peninsula Panthers will reschedule their game for this Wednesday, February 4th. It is a 6:30 start at the Panorama Rec Center. That again, February 4th is the rescheduled game between those two clubs. And speaking of Victoria Cougars, we're now joined by the leading goaltender in the VIJHL, Cougars himself, goaltender Anthony Ciurro, via telephone right now. Anthony, talk about when you first decided to play hockey. Do you remember that at all?
Well, I was pretty young. I was about 4 years old. My older brother played, so I kind of wanted to follow him in his footsteps, I guess. So it kind of inspired me to come and put the skates on and from then on, it just kind of stuck with me, and ever since then, I've been playing.
And now today, Anthony, talk about your first junior shutout with the Victoria Cougars. What kind of feelings were running through your body that day?
It was a great feeling. My team really made it easy for me. I think I only had like 9 shots that game or something like that. But it was a very cool experience for me, coming from all the way from Arizona and having my first start in a junior league and being in a shutout just made it even better.
We go from talking about your first shutout and the great feelings to your record, which is 17-1, which is great feelings as well, of course. But we're going to change gears a little bit. We're going to play a little bit of advocate right now. Talk about that first loss. Talk about the feelings that were running through your body that time. 17-1 is a great record.
It was pretty rough. It wasn't my greatest game, so you kind of put that on me. So it is what it is, but I wasn't too happy with it. No one likes losing, but that game kind of just sticks in your head after a while, and just kind of the way we lost. So it just kind of makes you think back to it and not want to do that again.
Now, lastly, Anthony, talk about your future hockey goals. Where do you see yourself heading in the next couple of years?
Well, hopefully play junior A, and then from there, wherever it takes me. But right now, the more important goal is this year and finishing off this year strong. And after this season, we'll see what happens.
Great, thank you. That's Anthony Ciurro, Victoria Cougars goaltender and leading the VIJHL in stats-wise for all goaltenders in the league. Pass things back inside. Here's Dean Fisher and Aaron Schultz.
Thanks, Tali.
We're now going to take a look at Connor Mowat, who is our Spotlight Player of the Week, brought to you by the Queens. Connor Mowat is a forward who wears number 24 for the Peninsula Panthers. Mowat is 16 years of age and comes from Nanaimo, British Columbia. In his rookie season, Mowat has 6 goals and 6 assists for a total of 12 points in 37 games. And that was Connor Mowat, who is our Spotlight Player of the Week, brought to you by the Queens, the home for live music in Nanaimo. For more information, please visit www.thequeens.ca.
And now we're going to look at the standings from this past week in the VIJHL. Starting in the North Division, the Campbell River Storm have 74 points in 43 games. Comox Valley behind them in 42 games, they have 48 points. The Nanaimo Buccaneers close behind them, 43 games, they have 48 points. And trailing the league and the North Division are the Oceanside Generals. In 44 games, they have 15 points. And going to the South Division now, the Victoria Cougars have retaken control of the league. In 43 games, they have 75 points. West Shore behind them. In 43 games, they have 54 points. And then in third place, we have the Saanich Braves. In 44 games, they have 38 points. Followed by Carey Park. In 44 games, they have 33 points. And the Peninsula Panthers are last in the South Division. In 44 games, they have 29 points. That is the standings as of this week in the VIJHL.
And that concludes this week's episode of Inside the VI.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Inside the VI for all the latest news involving the VIJHL. Thank you for tuning in and have yourselves a wonderful week.